Sports to another episode recap of Black Lightning Amped Up. Tonight's episode, Translucent Freak. I want to start with that amazing, obvious dream sequence at the beginning, where everything was, hunky-dory in the Pierce family, and the meta with the Truth Serum powers was back in the picture. I was like, okay, that's weird. And Jen's getting ready for her big date. Who walks through the door?
Let's get to that nitty gritty. My boy Khalil come busting in the door like he paid rent.
I like to point out, first of all, Jefferson opened the door and allowed him to
respectfully.
Anywhere. That's how you know obvious dream was obvious.
Okay, the soul to what he wanted to do is to bust up in there like he paid rent. Sat down, took down the entire Pierce family, which you know that was a dream. Come on. Come on. Oh, don't you even do that in your dream. But them hands.
Yes.
Them hands that Jennifer would lay upon him.
Yeah, I like that whole sequence because she fought him like it was a real fight. She took off her shoes to fight him.
Pulled some Vaseline out, put it behind her face.
About to go down.
And then,
Hands were thrown.
And then shot his mark ass out of a window.
Well, first she fought him up the stairs to knock him out the window.
That's right. She beat his Melvin ass up the stairs, then shot his mark ass out the window.
All right, so let's keep talking about Jen. All right, that was her obviously in her psychic vision, trying to control her powers and whatnot. So she's getting there. She's getting.
You mean when she tapped into the Phoenix Force? That's what that was. When she put Jean Grey to shame so hard. She's just sitting there glowing while Maxine Shaw was just in awe.
I like to say shout out to that sequence, by the way, because
Wait, I'm sorry. Time out. You put an attorney at law behind that, Max.
That's right.
Respect. All the respect.
Anyway, I just want to say shout out to that training sequence because I was getting anime Yu Yu Hakusho vibes, Yusuke and Genkai, spirit power shit. Like
you can't get the power unless you can control it.
Exactly. Like
I can't teach you no more. But Jen let me down. Well, I'm kind of split on the fence about Jen because at this point, everybody has pretty much taken everything away from her that they could possibly take.
Yeah.
Her school's been taken away from her. Her friends have been taken away from her.
Friends.
Oh, yeah, that chicken head she hang out with. And, she can't even go socialize anymore. She's been jammed into the house talking with Charles Xavier all day. And now, that last straw, she was like, I can only go to the person who's been down with me since the beginning, which was Khalil. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. Yeah. Maybe that's just young teenage angst.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense for her.
I'm kind of on the fence with that, too, because he already showed you who he was when he attacked.
But if you notice, he never laid hands on her.
That's fine, but he killed her father.
Yeah.
He died.
Semantics.
Semantics,
I'm going to say this, too. It seems like she's... And I'm not necessarily saying it's on her, but it seems like she's a bystander in her own story now because, like you said, everything's being taken. Yeah, it's happening to her, and she's powerless to stop it.
I believe this is
which is ironic considering that she's trying to control her powers.
Yeah. And I think it's just an emotional retreat. Like Khalil has some of the best memories that she's ever experienced, and just retreating to that haven is like a mental relapse for her to be like, this is what I know, this is where I was happiest, and this is what I know best.
Yeah.
Before we get on to the next topic, I just want to diverge slightly. I know I usually do the comic book stuff, and while I didn't catch much comic book stuff this week outside of Dr. Jake's tripping, I just want to say, I don't know if anyone's been noticing this, but Black Lightning, specifically this season so far as a whole, has been diving deep into black nerdness in general. Today's episode was directed by Sally Richardson.
If you don't know who Sally Richardson is,
then you probably not a black nerd, because Sally Richardson was the voice of Elisa Maza on Gargoyles.
I didn't even know who that was. And you know what? No shame whatsoever.
And when you mix that with the fact that Robert Townsend, a.k.a. Meteor Man, has been on the show, Maxine Shaw has been on the show, and a lot of people don't know this, but she writes comic books.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she does now. They've been, like, as a black nerd, I'm excited to see who they pull from where next. And considering all the other like black nerd centric or black superhero shows and things like that are out right there, this show I've noticed has taken the time to really get into deep cuts when it comes to the shout out and the presentations and the mentions of that and bringing the culture forward.
Yep. So shout out Sally Richardson, definitely appreciate it.
And you still fine.
She's still fine.
Miss Parker.
Next, I want to talk about Lynn. She had a short arc, so let's get this out the way.
I'm kind of disappointed in Lynn. Lynn should put some hands on that woman. I don't know what was holding Lynn back, especially when the doctor was getting close, like, hey, these cells are from the same family. Man, I wish I could find this family so I can cut them up and poke them. Liz should have reached back, touched the soul of her grandma, and came back for her.
Should have been like, shut up, bitch, shut up, bitch, shut up. We don't do that.
Like Lynn is letting way too much electric slide across the show.
Jace is getting closer to figuring out that metahumans, it can run in the family. So we gotta shut that down.
And that doctor is a cold piece of bitch too, because she just sat there and watched a child die. I was like, whoa.
And that's killing me. A metahuman dies every episode.
He was a black metahuman, so she didn't care.
She didn't see him. She didn't see him. When I looked at it, there was like 5 pods left. But she doesn't see these kids as people, and that's the scariest part. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's the same thing still going on like it was in the past.
And speaking of not seeing kids as people, I want to jump to Lowry.
Yeah, we're going to Lowry next.
Yeah, he's the other one.
Like Lowry, it's like Lowry is the representation of what's
wrong with the school system.
Well, not just that; it's a cultural representation too.
Yeah,
he comes in with a predetermined position on black youth. And even you notice when he approached the black kids, he had a black security guard there with him to make sure that everything went as he said. So he doesn't see them as children. He sees them as policies and protocol that need to obey him. Even when Jefferson was trying to articulate, he was like, "Look, these are good kids. They're straight A students. You know, they just got high-headed and they popped off."
Which is why nobody respects him.
Why would you? And Jefferson made an excellent point. Why would you put this kid in the street to become the very thing that you think he is?
You speak about not having a zero tolerance for violence and drugs and all of this shit and whatnot, but you put him in that position.
Exactly. You gotta put him in the street to become
sell drugs to the rest of the kids in that school.
To be the very thing that you think that he is.
Because the narrow-mindedness is that he's only focused on the school, the building itself.
He's not focused on the school.
I mean, supposedly
the building.
The building
like
itself.
He's only worried about
controlling
shit that
what
don't
goes
matter.
on in here. He's not worried about the community as a whole.
And that's a bad line to walk. And I love it because it speaks so much now into like, if you take it out of that context, the system itself, like put that into the legal system or the judicial system and how it views these kids as lost causes. And to bounce off him, let's go to the white dude who tried to get Tobias out of jail.
You talking about Kid Rock?
Kid Rock.
Alright. Kid Rock walks into the police station. He's like, "Yo, I'm trying to make amends with you. Somebody stole my stuff. Before I lay down do some dirt in town, I come into you first."
No.
So he's like, I'm a politic with Tobias, thinking I'm doing this the right way. And Tobias had that game for him though.
Here's the thing.
First of all,
I love the way Tobias called his ass out.
Yeah.
He was like, because Kid Rock was like, "Hey, you know I can get you out of here." He's like, "I don't need no white man to save me. You think I didn't plan this?" I love that fact. It was like the countercoin between him and the principal. Like the guy, like you're a piece of shit, and you think you can save me? I'm Tobias. Well, I'm in jail because I want to be. I'm some kingpin shit.
Yeah. So Tobias calls it like he sees it. He's not down with the black folks. He's not down with the white folks. He's down for his folk.
Your kinfolk ain't always your skinfolk. Bruh, the way he what he say?
Watermelon, chicken, and Kool-Aid.
I was like, God damn.
I'm so confused.
I like
how you feel about the Chinese?
I like 2 out of those 3 things. I don't know how to feel about myself. Maybe y'all ate some salad instead of eating nothing but grease. Like, God damn. My soul.
Yeah, and so that was pretty much the bias arc. He went to jail, he got out of jail on some technicalities. Jefferson was powerless to stop it because he would basically have to perjure himself. Not even really perjure, but just go against what he said as a kid. He would basically have to go against what Gamby set up for him as a kid,
pretty much,
to keep Tobias in jail, and that won't be a good look for the family. And actually, I would say Jefferson wasn't being clear-minded with this because he would basically just make his family a target if he tries to take down Tobias.
Never really is when it comes to Tobias, and I kind of feel like they repeat that, but no, in the story a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Tobias is his white whale, of course. It's his one blind spot.
Yeah.
It's that thing like it's amazing because in one scene when he's talking to Jennifer, he's clear as a bell. It's like he has the full spectrum. He can see everything. But the second Tobias is mentioned, he goes like to this dark place where he can't even see like the difference between up and down.
So last thing on Tobias as well, he gets out of jail. He's now running a 100 out in the open-ish or whatever. But I just got one question. So nobody's going to ask him besides the police, like, hey, you were a government official, and you kind of still look the same. That's not weird.
All he going to do is lean over and say, cocoa butter.
Almost done with all the characters. Let's move over to Anissa. So this happened a lot sooner than I thought it would.
This whole episode, I have been clenching my belt because it's been looking for ass to whip.
Where is the meta?
The meta is waiting. That mid-season finale gonna be a dragon.
What we're talking about is Anissa gonna finally learn that lesson. I'm surprised Jefferson ain't told her to go pick out a switch yet.
Anissa, go get a switch.
But and you know what? She's a complete mirror of Jefferson when he was that young.
Yeah, and we all reminds him every episode.
And we all get that. And we all know, even from Lynn's perspective, that Jefferson was wilding out when he was younger too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's got to be hard to look at somebody who's just like you and explain, I get where you're coming from, but, you know, kids don't understand from a parent perspective until they go through life and experience what they've experienced.
Right. And all this to say is that I like how they still came back together to get the job done. They worked together as Thunder and Black Lightning to, stop the bomb, to save the clinic.
But your stuff would have been on that porch. I would have put your clothes, your jewelry.
You being generous. The porch?
The
yard.
The curb.
I want grass things all on her black.
With a sign that says, come get your shit.
You set it on the curb. That means it's up for anybody.
You taking too long.
That's right, yeah, I'm tripping.
And I would call such a thing. I want the neighbors to see me. I'd be like, take your shit.
And I would have looked over to Jennifer like, you want some of that outside?
Alright, so yeah, we'll see where this goes with the relationship between Anissa and her father.
Then she gonna pull that go to Gamby's house bullshit.
I'm going Uncle Gamby.
Like, I thought you was grown.
You know I have to tell your father. Oh!
We can get into it. So, speaking of that bomb scene, the whole clinic, that all that went down, I want to focus on one specific aspect of that. Gamby got out into the streets and he got to throw some hands.
Oh my God.
He wasn't ready for
He
it.
wasn't ready.
It didn't go down like we thought it would.
That not pregnant chick. she came with all hands included. Her fist was ready to eat for everybody. Because Gamby didn't want, at one point I thought Gamby was gonna die. Like I was like, wait, we ain't that far in the season for this.
He thought he was ready. He was like, I've been busting motherfuckers' asses all season 1, and then all of a sudden, wait.
Not just that. The start of the fight. So he walks past her. And then, literally walks past her, pulls out a gun. She starts
he didn't even give her a chance. She was like, step 1, burner. Step 2, usually works. Step 2, wait. Hold on, quit.
Wait, no. I wasn't ready. That's not how you do
I don't know what to do with the guns out the hand.
What?
At one point, he screamed at the woman, I got diabetes.
Maybe this was the first time I actually thought, Gamby, maybe you get too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Because it was a struggle.
Gamby stayed in the van.
Even when she escaped, he was on his knees like, ooh. Ooh, he pulled that Murtaugh lead.
Get too over this. All right. Was there anything else?
Yeah. Let's
yeah, vice principal. So last thing I want to talk about, man. She's gone, y'all.
Yeah, we lost a good booty.
Lost a good one. Vice principal, whatever her name was.
Shows how much we care.
Sarah or something.
Kara. Something.
Supergirl.
Yeah. She's at the crossroads. And she still did not tell us what was in that goddamn case.
See, now that actually pissed me off at the end of the episode. That what's in the case? I'll tell you. She did.
You gotta.
This is more realistic than that Batman.
Talia al Ghul. Yeah, so I'm still just a little bit confused. Does Gambit actually know what's in the case?
Nah.
Because his question
I think
was
they
so,
playing the fucking pronoun game, which I hate that in fiction.
I feel like he was like, does Tobias know how to use? I think he knows what's in the case.
This is more Quentin Tarantino shit, man.
Yeah. So it's better be like super extreme.
You know what? I think I know what it is. It gives Tobias the strength of 2 more men. That's what's in the case. He gonna have the strength of 5.
5 men.
He gonna have 5 men in him.
So he won't need Painkiller to punch Black Lightning in the chest. He can take him out himself. All right. All in all, this was a good episode. Kept me entertained. Tobias is out again. It's like almost nothing even happened. So that was kind of a drag. But we'll see where the rest of the story goes. Because now, eyes on the community. They know that the Robin Hood figure is giving money from the bad guys specifically to the community center and to the community. So now there's a target on Freeland's back again. And now the 100 is probably going to be back in effect as well. So, looks like they got their work cut out for them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Last thing. Black Lightning will be off next week due to election day.
Yeah, go vote. Get your ass out. If you live in this, vote. Don't text and say, hey, bitch, vote.
Vote.
My vote doesn't matter. No.
You know what it matter? An ass whooping. Because if we get the person in office that I don't want in office,
I'm tuning you up. You know what? Because people rebel. You know, we just play. Just vote.